I just had my birthday a couple weeks ago. There were so many amazing things happening around it. Happy birthday to you. A group of friends had dinner with me, and finally we went to karaoke after 2 years of pandemic. Now it's time to pause and reflect about being in my 30s versus my 20s. I summarize 3 major things that I learned in my 20s. In other words, things I wish I knew before turning 30. Let's get started. Welcome to Shayna Shares. I'm Shayna from China. In my 20s, I spent a lot of time on dating with the wrong people. So the first thing I wish I knew has to be this one. When people tell you who they are, believe them. Don't try to fix them. The first time I heard this life advice was from Oprah Winfrey, and she got this advice from her life coach and mentor, the famous American poet Maya Angelou. The original quote is, "When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time." People know themselves much better than you do. That's why it's important to stop expecting them to be something other than who they are. Okay, I don't know if this one is relatable for you, but at least for me, it reminds me of my major problem dating in my 20s. For example, when a guy told me he doesn't know what he wants and he's not ready to commit, I was trying to help him figure it out and hoping he would appreciate it. I waited and waited and waited until I realized that I was wasting my time, my valuable time, on someone that already told me the answer. And when a guy showed me that he's a liar or incapable of being loyal, I didn't believe it. Or I believe I'm special enough to change him until he cheated and used lies to cover it up and cheated again. I finally learned that's who he is and let him go. Why didn't I believe them when they showed me who they were the first time? I guess that's because I was trying to discover them while I'm still discovering myself. I didn't know who they were, but at the same time, I didn't know who I was either. I didn't know I cannot change people. I didn't have my principles and boundaries. I didn't realize I deserved better. So when people showed you that they are mean or selfish or aggressive or whatever they tell you who they are, believe them. I'm not saying don't give them a second chance when people made a mistake. I'm saying be aware of who they are and accept it instead of trying to fix it. Second, excuse my language, don't give a fuck about what people think of you. In my 20s, a lot of my behavior or decisions were based on how other people think. Oh, I need to buy a luxury brand and the latest version of cell phone so that people think I'm successful. Oh, I need to post my vacation pictures and every single meal I had so that people think my life is full of fun. So dumb. This mindset took me a lot of energy and time to do the things that are very superficial and probably nobody actually give a fuck about. This mindset also makes me very sensitive and anxious, always wondering how people think about the things I've done or said. But when I look back, right now, who are those people? Some classmates from college or coworkers from the previous job or a bunch of strangers on the internet. Where are they now? I don't know, nor do I care. Using quote from the book. Let me grab the book for you. So I recommend this book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F***. So using quote from this book, if you find yourself consistently giving too many f***s about trivial shit that bothers you, chances are you don't have much going on in your real life to give a legitimate f*** about. And that's your real problem. Not giving a f*** doesn't mean being indifferent. It means being comfortable with being different. I remember there's one time I went to school with a different style of makeup on. A girlfriend that I hang out at that time looked at me and she said, "Why do you change your style? I don't think this is pretty." It took me 5 seconds to pause and think and then reply to her. I said, "It's okay as long as I think it's pretty." And after that, she never questioned my makeup ever again. Okay, the last but not least, the things I wish I knew in my 20s is don't try to fit in. I know this one sounds a little bit similar to the previous one, but let me tell you the difference. When you try to fit in, sometimes it's not because you worry about what other people think about you. At least for me, it was about fear of being alone. It was about searching for belonging. In my 20s, I moved to different cities every couple years, and I was always looking for my social circle or a group of friends that I can hang out with regularly. Otherwise, I would feel lonely or disconnected when I stayed at home by myself on weekends. Then, I trained myself to adapt to any situation in a short time by swallowing a lot of discomfort and pain. I went to a lot of events or parties or business dinners almost every single day. And yes, I made a lot of friends, and yes, I built a lot of connections, but none of those people would show up for me when I had a bad breakup or went to hospital or had some emergency situations. The connections were based on whether we work in the same field or we hate the same people. That's not deep and meaningful connections. But I sacrificed a lot of time and energy on those people, and at the end of the day, I still felt lonely sometimes. One of my favorite authors, Brené Brown, did her research about loneliness and belongings. She said, belonging is not something we negotiate with the external world. It's something we carry in our hearts. And as it turns out, the people who have the highest levels of true belonging not only find being a part of something bigger, but they have the courage to stand alone. I'm not saying that you have to stand on your own in order to improve yourself. I'm saying don't be afraid of being alone. Use art or creativity to fulfill your heart. Build deep and meaningful relationships. Okay, those are my 3 powerful tips for a 20-year-old self. Do you find it helpful, or do you have different advice? Comment below, let me know. If you are also obsessed with self-improvement, please subscribe to my channel. Let's grow and glow together. I'll see you next one. Bye.